guys. You must survive. Hi guys, welcome back to Camp Blood Media. My name is Josh, and today I'll be doing a review for Netflix's #Alive, which released in South Korea in July of this year. With a runtime of 1 hour and 39 minutes, the movie gives you the option of watching with English subtitles or English dub. I chose to go with the subtitles because I prefer to hear the original voices of the actors. I find they're able to portray the emotion how it's intended, which sometimes can be lost in the dub. However, you can watch it however you like. There's several different options, so make sure to check that out before you start the movie. The movie opens with Jun, aka Morris62, who's a live streamer in South Korea. He becomes alerted to something going on by the other live streamers, so he runs out to the living room to check the news, and he discovers that there's this cannibalistic infection spreading rapidly through his city, and it just takes one bite or scratch directly from the zombies in order to become infected. They don't actually call them zombies at any point in the movie, I don't think, but clearly they're zombies. They're more along the lines of like 28 Days Later zombies or Train to Busan, where they can move quite rapidly. More so than like something from Night of the Living Dead, where they just kind of slowly move along and come after you. I think that made, or at least it makes for a lot more like heart-pumping action, especially in this movie, because there's a lot of times when nothing's happening and all of a sudden, bam, there's zombies busting through the door and people are running, and it definitely gets your adrenaline pumping. The zombies in this movie are pretty crazy. They scream and they bleed from their eyes when they are starting to get infected, so that's pretty crazy. I was saying in my notes for the, at one point a neighbor comes in and turns into a zombie, and I was saying that the zombie henshin sequence was like American Werewolf in London, where he's just like bones cracking and he's like a long extended sequence of turning into a zombie. I thought it was pretty cool, honestly. Throughout the movie, he keeps receiving text messages from his parents that tell him, no matter what, stay in your apartment and you must survive. And that kind of becomes like the theme for the movie. I must survive, or you must survive. And there's multiple times in the movie where he either looks at a note he wrote to himself, that I must survive, that he placed on a picture of his family, or he makes a video for his subscribers saying, you must survive, like you must get through this. And I thought that was a really strong message. Like, they did really well with the emotional moments in the movie. At one point in the movie, he sees a girl across the way into another apartment building. They slowly start communicating and sending food back and forth, and they soon realize that they're each other's only escape, kind of like only hope in this entire situation. Like, they're each other's only distraction. And as time goes on and food gets less and less and water gets less and less, they realize we need to get out of here or else we're gonna starve or be eaten. So from that point on in the movie, things pick up pretty quickly because they're scavenging for food and meeting up with each other. And I won't say too much more because this is a non-spoiler review, but the ending is definitely, I wasn't sure what was going to happen, but I definitely had my heart pounding the entire time. I thought it was a great ending. Something else about the movie, I really liked the music. Every time like a new score came on in the movie, I thought it was a jam. Like they really did a good job with all of the music. I thought in the movie it was really well done. There was not one time in the movie where I was like, oh, this is a weird song. Every time I was like, oh man, this is some good shit. I thought that Jun was a good character. He went from just being a regular guy streaming in his apartment and playing video games to losing his mind to having to defend himself from all these crazy threats that are going on around him. And I feel like he really changed from the beginning of the movie to the end. Not completely, like he's still the same character obviously, but he really kind of got out of his apartment. Like the movie was basically about him being in his apartment and not wanting to leave, and then he got out of there and he was working with the other girl, and he really kind of came into himself and was able to keep himself safe, at least for a while. I won't tell you whether he lives or dies, but I think they did a really good job with Jun. The secondary character, the lady, she was great. I thought she was really funny. She's just constantly calling him an idiot. And like one of their first encounters, she calls him an idiot. And he's like, "I'm not an idiot, I swear." And throughout the movie, the running joke is that he is an idiot, and she keeps calling him on it. So they do a really good job with that. There's a point in the movie where she's being attacked by a zombie firefighter, and she uses the axe to save herself, and then later on, Jun is like, "Oh, you killed that guy," and she's like, "No, I didn't kill anyone. What are you talking about? He was a zombie. Like, don't say that." So you can kind of see, like, she's like an uptight character, but at the same time, she is more like just a facade to keep Jun at a distance. I thought the movie was really good with its pacing. It went really good between Jun kind of going crazy by himself in his apartment and just kind of trying to survive on his own, to meeting the girl, finding a sense of hope, and them trying to find a way to survive together versus just a free-for-all. The two of them decide to eventually leave their apartment and go scavenging for food and other things like that. And long story short, without any spoilers, because this is a non-spoiler review, it doesn't go that well for them. Like, there's a few moments between him and the female character. I can't remember her name, I'm sorry. But there's a few moments between them that was really well done. Like, if I felt the friendship between them in the moments of despair and the moments of horror that was going on in front of them. The acting in this movie was great across the board. Jun did a phenomenal job the whole movie. I didn't really have any complaints for him the whole time. Like, all of his little micro reactions to things were really good, like laughing nervously in dangerous situations, or when something just really goes to hell, he just gives this smile like, "Oh shit, like there's nothing I can do." And then the other girl, she did a really great job as well. Like, there was at no point where I wasn't sold by her performance. She did a really great job of acting unimpressed with Jun when he was being stupid, and she did a really great job of showing the terror on her face when zombies were coming to kill her or kill him. There's another character in the movie who's a little off the deep end, and he does a really great job of just portraying the fact that he misses his wife and he can't go on without her, and his entire life is her. And that's kind of why I decided to watch it subbed, because you can really hear the actor's voice shake when they're upset. And I find in dubs sometimes they can do a really good job, and you get kind of the feel of the scene, but sometimes it just falls completely flat. And I figured the best way to watch this movie was with the subtitles, because you get the true emotion of the movie. All the set designs were really nice. Like, the apartments looked like someone actually lived there. The area outside with all the crash cars and all the different zombies running around, they did an amazing job with that. The best part, in my opinion, was the actual apartment building with the blood smears all over the wall. Like, that aesthetic was perfect. I thought that was almost something right out of Resident Evil. Anytime that they were out in the apartment, trying to go get food or just seeing what was going on in the apartment, it was some of the best parts of the movie, because the aesthetic was just that perfect. I really had nothing to complain about. The design of the zombies themselves looked great. The white eyes was very creepy. All of them, you could see where the blood came down as they turned. A lot of them had ripped up fingernails and stuff like that, and I really had nothing to complain about in the zombie department. These ones were very much in the vein of people that had just died and been turned, because they all had blue veins and stuff like that. None of them had exposed bone or guts hanging out for the most part. So they did a really good job with making the zombies look like they had just been turned, rather than just making them look like any old zombie. I would have to say that this movie would be good for pretty much anyone. Obviously, if you're a little child, you probably shouldn't be watching a zombie movie. But there's really not too much in the way of language in the movie. Like, they're not constantly swearing all the time, so in that regard it's good for a younger audience. There's not too much like gore. Like, of course there's zombies and there's blood on the walls and stuff like that, but like in some zombie movies you see people getting ripped open and their intestines ripped out and their eyeballs crushed and their throats ripped out and stuff like that. And in this one it's really like you see them all pile on to somebody and start eating them, but you don't see them get like ripped to shreds. So in that respect I would say that anyone probably above the age of like 10, 11, 12 will be able to watch this movie, because there's nothing in it that really would prevent them from being able to. Alright guys, so to finish up, I thought this was a great movie and I definitely recommend checking it out. It kind of has a little bit of a Train to Busan feel to it, so if you like that movie, you're definitely going to love this movie. Between the awesome zombie moments and the super suspenseful moments leading up to the zombies attacking, this movie does a perfect job of keeping you on the edge of your seat and waiting for what's about to happen next. If you're not watching this movie, you're definitely missing out. I give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. So that's it guys, my review for Netflix's #Alive. Give it a watch and let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, like and subscribe because it really helps out the channel. Until next time, have a good one.